Carol here. A warm welcome as always to my craft room. It's so nice to have you join me around my island today as we create a masculine card. I don't know about you, but I find it difficult to come up with inspiration to actually make male masculine cards or any project. So I thought to help me along, I would order this Anna Griffin All About the Boys, it's called. And it has enough product in it to make 12 loaded up with beautiful stamps and die cuts and all kinds of goodness. 12 cards, and that's if you pack it full. So join me as I make a card for our son Chad. And the story gets even funnier as we get into the video on his age. And we have 3 sons, so you don't think it'd be that difficult. But when you throw in a load of grandchildren and dates and yada yada, oh yeah, I was out by a year, but I made it right, and we're going to proceed with that crazy story later on in the project. So here we go. This is the pop-out die by Anna Griffin. I did not purchase anything that I've used here after January 1st because of my 3-month no-buy challenge of no buying anything. But I did buy it when Create 6 was on. This came in the Create 6 box, one of 2 of the boxes full of supplies. So you have the inspiration on the front that you get with this folded piece of paper. It tells you what plates to use on your Empress, the Anna Griffin Empress machine, and it also has instructions of placement, which is wonderful, especially for me. Yes. So I hope everybody is doing well. I'm just getting around to answering some late comments. I apologize for that. But look at this. This is my Go Powered Impress machine I bought, in the haul video that I did. Now, if you have a Lazy Susan, even if you don't do tutorials, but for tutorials, this is fantastic. I saw it on another video, and I'm sorry I can't remember who put this out. I'm going to try and look for it because it was somebody that did YouTube videos, and how ingenious this is to slide your die through the machine, and then that way I don't have to get up or lean over, my camcorder's up on a tripod, but still, you'll see how this makes card making for you and me so simplistic, because as I run it through, I just turn the Lazy Susan and take it out and then turn it back. Wow, this was a game changer for me. Now, after I said that, this kit comes with 2 sheets with these shirts. This is fabulous, black and white. So it makes it easy to make any cards of your choice. And they're nice relaxation shirts, dress shirts, whatever you want them to be. Now I chose 3, always working with odd numbers if you can help it. And I'm going to cut around these and we're going to add them to the card. This kit comes with cards, your actual card bases. It comes with the fillers, card fillers, and so much more. This is 140-pound cardstock that I have in my stash. I'm taking some distress inks. I have the name of them. I'll go over with you. I put them up in the video so that you could see what they were. But I thought the theme was bark on the outside of the card. Well, the card theme isn't, but the card base has tree, like a tree trunk. And I went along with that paper and decided to make my own tree bark using some of the distressed little cubes. Now, you like to run it back and forth so it's, got that unprecedented look of wood. It's not all the same, and it has like the bark. That's what I'm talking about. You've got some bark edges on there, and then you can go on top of some of the other colors and just create this. I mean, if you were doing a card and you wanted to match up colors for a die, this would be beautiful to get out your little cubes of ink. I chose the Distress inks, and I think it's a wonderful feature for your cards to add something like this, especially for a masculine card, don't you think? Now here we go. Let's bring them up, and I put it on there. You're going to get aged mahogany, walnut stain, then you have the rusty hinge, and next is the gathered twigs. Then I'm trying to read it myself. Antique linen, and what's the next one? Vintage photo, and of course the last one, which I didn't know until it came up, was the frayed burlap. Yeah. Yes, I just thought if you wanted to stop the tutorial and you like the look of this as I ran the colors down my white cardstock, being mindful that it is white cardstock we're using right here, really thick cardstock. This is my 140 pound. So I wanted to make the placement nice. Now watch this. This is fantabulous, my friends. I couldn't believe it when I saw this video that I'm going to get Lazy Susans for all my machines, because this is a game changer for me. Look at that. You put your Lazy Susan there. I'm going to show you how I did it here. And yeah, you don't want to see my jams down there. So here we go. I ran it through. Then look at this. You get it out the back. You don't have to move. Oh, it was, I'm telling you, I'm going to get a small one for my small machine. I'm going to get a nice Lazy Susan for my Go Power and Impress machine, and whatever other machine I have laying around. I think this is a wonderful idea. And if you do videos, you're going to really appreciate this, because you're not leaning over to get the die when it runs through. You just turn that little spinny thing and grab it, and off you go. And you can tell how thick this cardstock is when I take it out. Save the guts. We're going to put lettering on that. We're going to use letters and numbers and die cut those. I tried to keep my tutorial so it wasn't, you know, hours long, but I did want to feature some of the things that I really liked about making this masculine card. So here we go. We're going to run this through again, turn it around. Isn't that fabulous? Really, I was so excited to show you this in the video, because it is very helpful to not have to lean forward sometimes and get it out of the back. Or if it's going to knock something over, you know, you have on the other side of your machine. This is amazing. And I'm using the shadow die, just the single die that goes around the actual intricate die that I'm using, the pop-up die here. Once I get all the gut pieces out of there, I should have used my Rolly two-in-one thing, but I think I did later on. But I'm just trying to get it out, and then I got out my little We Are Memory Keepers round vacuum, and I vacuumed up all of the leftover pieces I couldn't get off my actual magnet plate, because you know now I cut right into the magnet plate. One pass and you have a beautiful cut and a beautiful emboss without having to use that rubbery mat thing to emboss. If you cut into your magnet plate, all you have to replace is, you know, I've been using this for months now, and it is not all cut down to the bottom. It's beautiful every time I put a pass through my machine using the die side down into the magnet plate. So that's something to think about, and I do love doing that because my acrylic plates stay firm, they stay straight, they're not bowed. They are wonderful, you know, unless I forget to have my die facing down in the magnet plate. Yeah, then you can see I only have one boo-boo on the top plate, but that's it. So now I'm just taking a ruler and I'm going to, you know, just support the emboss grooves, the lines in here with the ruler to help me when I'm folding it. And this is how the pop-up works. Get your bone folder. I had to grab another one here. And yeah, just press down on it, get a good crease, and there you have it. You have your pop-up mechanism. And even though it has these nice ends to it, you will see at the end of the tutorial, it is a very masculine looking card. Even though we use kind of lacy dies here and there, you're going to really enjoy it. Now, it came with these cards that already had the sentiment inside the card base. So I didn't want to use that sentiment, so I'm doing 4 sides of my card like I usually do, and I'm going to cover it up. Yes. So here's the sentiment that came in I don't think that came in this kit. I think I'm not sure. It could have. Yeah, I think it did. No, I don't think so, because it came with the pop-up dies with the Create 6. I'm pretty sure that a lot of those birthday sentiments. So it goes in the middle. It already has it pre-scored. I'll try to remember to leave the links for everything for you. And see how that sentiment, it looks like you hand stamped it and you used embossing powder and embossed the gold around the edges up there on the upper left. I mean, you can't get any closer to doing it yourself than to have these Anna Griffin beautiful sentiment dies. So I have that in the center, already folded into the crease. Then I had bought this before Christmas. It is the Anna Griffin alphabet. But remember, I did have a coupon that I used to get other alphabet dies that are different sizes. And you'll see that in my haul tutorial that I did previously. So I'm cutting the top off here. I love the fact that it's binder form on the magnet here holding the letters. And it too comes with inspiration on the actual folder, that comes inside of it to give you instructions on, how to use these dies. And here are my other dies that I purchased. I'm going to use my son's name is Chad, so that makes it really easy, C-H-A-D. And I love the 2-inch C in these dies. So I took that C. I didn't even use the Anna Griffin dies. I actually used the small and the the uppercase, the lowercase of these dies because they matched. And yeah, so I put that away, but it's nice to have it. I think the Anna Griffin is 1.5 inches as far as each of the uppercase letters. And it also comes with the lowercase letters, which is nice. So I actually took these dies and I cut apart only what I needed. I left the rest of them attached because, yeah, I'm trying to find a spot. Look at me. Trying to find a spot to take all the thingies off. But what I like to do, because I wear glasses, is not as bad, It at least hit my glasses. But when I do it, I put a baby wipe underneath because the baby wipe will capture the little ends to it. You could fold it over, but if you do use the baby wipe, you'll find it works on keeping the ends will fall right onto the baby wipe. And those things, if you get one in your skin, oh my, it's like getting a sliver, isn't it? I try to be oh so careful when I'm cutting with my cutting tool here to make them fall into the baby wipe. So here we go. There's the guts to the page we used. I used every single bit of the outside edge to the pop-out die on letters. I really did, because saving, the letters for another project is great. But I ran into a few things I had to change up, so I was really glad that we could share that together, how I did it. I switched over to the Mini Empress, which isn't that mini. It's a pretty good size. It's called the Empress Mini. Yeah, there's nothing strange about that, is there? So I took out the underneath die, you know, the ghost die. I think I'm standing up here and crafting. I'm just showing somebody in my camera there that I was crafting with. And I showed how the placement was. I apologize for that. I probably could have taken this out of the edit. But I was in a hurry to get it up onto YouTube, so I ended up leaving it in. Here's another part of the gut. So whatever dies you have, it doesn't have to be the die to your actual card. Just use up the paper there that you have left over and put it in with your stash wherever you keep things like that. So I went to my stash and I found this, I think it's only 60-pound cardstock in this celery green. Maybe it's 80-pound. I can't remember what it is. But I love the light celery green. It's altogether different than the green striped. And I thought the green stripe was a bit too busy. And I didn't need much of the green showing. So this was nice to use this one. And I took out my distress cutter, my guillotine cutter from Tim Holtz. It makes such a nice edge. I don't have all that stuff from distressing, you know, all the paper things. So this is made by Tonic, and it really does distress your edge as well. So I put one on top of the other there, I think. But I thought, no, I think I get a better distress look if I do them separately. So that's what I did. And I just enjoy the fact now I don't have to use the distress tool. Although there's a time and a place for both of these, I think. The guillotine and your distress tool. So let's move along. And I really do like the light color of the celery green. I hope whoever I'm talking to there agrees with me. So here we go. I had to cover that sentiment up. And I'm putting that craft paper background to the pop-up die onto this. So I think the softness of the craft and the softness of this paper just went perfectly together. And I ended up covering the back like the front. I used another card, cut the front part off, and made the front and the back identical. So that kind of helped me with this. And I really did get into making this masculine card. Sometimes it's a struggle for me, but this one was kind of nice. Having, you know, the main pieces, all you had to do was match the colors behind it, and it was a go. I did have to put a shim on top of it to cut them out, but what I did was I layered the letters. So I did the craft first, and then I put the upper paper, you know, the stripes that I did with the distress ink, I put it over top of the craft. So yeah, I just kept cutting until I used up all of the craft paper and all of my, I'll call it bark paper. I used that up, and then we're going to place it all together so we can build off of all of our die cuts and start creating a masculine birthday card. And so here we go. And then I loved these new numbers, these new number dies that I ordered. And this was back in December. And I'm glad because, you know, I didn't have any number dies. I couldn't find any in my stash that actually were big enough to show, you know, that you're putting happy birthday or Chad is, and then you have the numbers. Look how nice this goes. Woo! But being a small machine, I could just put my hand behind there and catch it. But the Lazy Susan, I'm going down in my kitchen and nabbing another one. Pretty sure I have 2 or 3 of them, so I'm going to bring them up to the craft room. Oh yes, everything eventually meets in my craft room. How's that? Do you do that too? I do. If I see anything that'll work in my craft room, it's gone from the kitchen, the living room, dining room, wherever. And now I'm going to poke the little pokey bits out. And I put that my son was 45. He's not. He's 44. He was born in the blizzard of 77. I'm Canadian, so we had the biggest blizzard of snow hit in 77. It covered right over our front door. It was major. And yeah, so you'd think I would have just said to myself, oh, just take 77 away from 2021. I didn't do it like that. I did it like this. I don't know if you do this. So-and-so was born at this time, and they're 3 years older. And then his uncle was 4 years, not that old, so add 2. That's how I did it. It was crazy. And then, I called to say happy birthday before I gave him the card. I said, oh, I think you're going to really enjoy the card this year and celebrating your 45th. And he said, Ma, that's good. I will enjoy the card, and I'll enjoy it next year too because I'm only 44. Yeah. It was so funny. It was funny for me. Mother laughs at anything, whether it's funny or not. If they say something and it's supposed to be funny, the mother will laugh. Everybody else will sit there, but of course the mom's going to be, oh, that's so funny. Oh, you're so funny. And everybody else going, yeah, she's got to be the mom. Yeah. Anywho, yes, I'm going to fast forward as much as I can so you're not having to sit and watch every little detail. And so here, oh yes, I'm just saying, okay, now what am I going to do? I put out all the supplies that I thought I would use in this card. I laid them out so I was ready, and I'm going to move ahead. You want to make a fold with your ruler first and then meet it on each side and use your bone folder. So that when you open and close the card, because you're going to glue both pieces, but the key to this pop-out die, my friends, let me just share it with you, that when you put it on your card base, you're just doing the outer intricate dies, the die base, just that little outer edge. It has a score mark there, so you're going to score it so you know where to put the liquid glue. That'll really help. I'm using my ATG gun, and we're going to put these green pieces of paper on the inside. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid just in case I don't, meet it properly. And I think the one I cut it a little bit short on the bottom. I'm pretty sure now that I'm looking at it. But, the card is busy, so it really doesn't matter. I ran this through my Xyron, and you're going to have all of it nice and even. Just meet the folds. That's all you have to remember, is to meet the folds. Now see how I said the glue will only go on the folded edge, and you're going to see me here show you. When you lift it, don't glue anything but that filigree bit, and look behind the die. You'll see right here, see how it has the score mark? I'm going to use my ruler so I can see where exactly that score mark is, and then you're going to want to put the glue above the score mark. This die is such a nice pop-out, has a nice pop-out feature. I really like it, and depending on the color you use to die cut it, that really adds to the finished project. Here I'm showing you that it does have a score mark embedded into the actual die cutting. So just meet it up with your ruler, take your bone folder, make a nice crease. Because my cardstock's 140, I had a little bit of cutting into the paper when I did the fold, but that's okay. Just go over it with your ink and a little sponge, and the white color there will go away. You'll be fine. So that's what I'm doing right here. I took a real fine little brush. This is one of the brushes that I got at my dollar store where nothing's a dollar. And I'm just running this vintage photo color right into it. And no one will be the wiser. Even if you didn't do it, it just looks nice and vintagey. But using a heavy cardstock, my friends, I'm going to need a belly band. That's a for sure, because it does pop out, as because of all the layers that I have in my card base. And this card was already prepared with the wood style look on the front of it. So that's why the feature of running my inks down the white paper, that's why I thought of that. Because you get the card bases, you get the actual card, and the card bases in the kit. Just about everything you need will be in there as far as the paper products. So you'll like that. I'm just using a little bit of paper towel to get the glue off. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I just love it. I just love it. So once you put the fold in, but you are going to need to make a belly band to make it look kind of sweet. So here we are. This is the sentiment that came out of one of the Anna Griffin sentiment sets that says something about the birthday. And I'm really getting a lot of use out of my ATG guns now that I bought all that tape. It's fabulous. I'm still going to take a precaution of using liquid glue in case I have to move it a little bit. I'll just give myself a little bit of wiggle room here. Put it in the center. I'm making sure it's not upside down. Just a little note to have a wonderful birthday. I think it says something like that. So yeah, that was really sweet. It has the nice gold edging. I'm going to take my bone folder to make the glue nice and flat behind it. And this is the start of our masculine card. Now, here's where this was so wonderful. So wonderful. I took a frame. This is a frame die. And I cut it in half. I just cut it in half. And on the ends of it, I only glued the outer ends. And this is my belly band. So I went to my stash. I already cut a gold frame from one of Anna Griffin dies. And it's just, what's good about this that makes it work is the fact that the die at the top is the same pattern as the bottom. So when you put these together, obviously they're going to match up because the bottom die is the same as the top as far as the pattern. So this will work every time and give you a fabulous belly band if, you know, the outer edges. This is a 5x7 card. So with my belly band made like this, which I was so pleased with, made it a 7x7 card. So that was nice. And now I just have to decorate the belly band. And how I did this, I mean, is that a quick belly band or what? All you have to do is have a frame die. And if the top and the bottom pattern is the same, cut it in half, glue the outer edges, and there's your belly band, my friends. Right there. Between the Lazy Susan, and that wasn't my idea though. I saw that on a video, but this was my own idea. I just, well, it's probably out there, but I didn't see it. Yeah, fabulous, isn't it? Okay, it slides over wonderfully, so that's a bonus. And then I'm going to set that aside and put the back of the card together. Because, yeah, as I looked at the back, I thought, whoa, let's not forget about that. So I want the front and the back to be identical. So I had to get out another Anna Griffin card that had the same front on it. And then I just sliced it off and put the front on the back. I'm going into my stash here and picking out some, just some filigree, a little star. I'm checking to make sure this is the same die because, you know, when I die cut, if I go to make a card and I'm making a die cut, it's real easy to make a few extra and then put them in wherever you store your dies and add them there. And that, just like this, when you're in a quandary for what to create and your time is running short, you can just go to your dies. Yeah, there I did. I just ripped it off. Now I'm going to take my distress tool there. It's a tool, I guess. It's my Tim Holtz Distresser. It's so funny that I can never think of this name. It's like, what is this thing? It makes all the jaggedies. And I'm going to have to check out my scissors. Just a minute. Hey, forget the scissors. I just went and looked at the box. Do you store your boxes? I store the boxes for some reason. I know very seldom do I have to send anything back. I don't really know why I save them, but as you can see right there, oh yeah. I don't think I put enough liquid, or if I even put liquid on there. This is crazy. My old saying is, there isn't anything that you can't fix. It's just going to take a wee bit of time, but I did fix it. Now I wanted to have this antique car on there because my son does like to have his cars, so I don't think he has one like that. Not yet, but I liked it, and it's what came in the kit. That's the thing about kits, isn't it? You get a buy, and you suffer with this thing of making masculine cards. I don't know what that's called, but when something goes on sale, and it says on the front that it has to do with making masculine cards, I figure, why not? I can make it work. And I really love the idea of putting all of the die cuts, so to speak, on the Bellyband, but only glue it down on the side, like on the Bellyband side, right? Don't, so when you pull it off and you pull it on, it's not going to stick. And then you're going to have to put something on the top that isn't dimensional. This sticker is 3-dimensional, it has 3 layers. So the sentiment one. So I thought, no, I have the, well, now it says he's 54. He's aging, isn't he, as we're going on? But, and I had cut those shirts out. So I thought, well, the shirts are flat. I love that idea. And this is the thing about setting things down and not gluing them until you're totally satisfied with the outcome. So this is what I did. I liked that. I really do like the balloons, but I have 4 sides to decorate. I always keep that in mind because I decorate mostly, I make 4-sided cards, and then I have an envelope to decorate as well. So it's not that I'm not going to be able to use all the things that I took out, it's where I'm going to use them, right? So I glued these together in fan form. And we're going to place that at the top because, woohoo, it's birthday time. Oh, happy birthday, Chad. Yes, this is going to be your card. Actually, it was. Yeah. Oh, dear. I just finished lunch. I made beef stew yesterday, okay? And then my husband just came home and said, hey, is there any of that beef stew left? And I said, yes. And he said, wow, it's, so he ate it, and then he was leaving to go back out. And he left a note on the counter, but I got downstairs before he left, and I said, oh, stew is better the second day. That's what it said. And I looked at him and I said, stew is better the second day? It's really going to be good on the 3rd day too. because I made so much. So we're going to have it again tomorrow. But he said, yeah, you could use that if you want. Why is stew better the second day? I said, why is that? And he said, because it sits there and it has time to stew. I thought it was hysterical. Yeah, because it sits there and it has time to stew. Oh, my husband's a genius. I'm not kidding. And he makes me laugh. So that's kind of fun too. So I'm glad nobody saw this because my son isn't 45. He didn't turn 45, he turned 44. But I really liked that 5, and I was contemplating it just leaving it there. So you're 44, 45. I mean, I'm 66, and once you get over like 50, it doesn't really matter what numbers they put on the card. You could put 98. Some days that's how I feel. You could put 21. That's great too. Some days, well, few days, I feel 21. Most days, I never act my age, so you got to pick one. I'd rather it be the lower number, right? So here we go. Look at the 3 shirts. That is a piece of paper, like a card front with all shirts on it. So you get to cut all these wonderful fussy cut dress shirts or relaxation shirts, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, so that's at the top. So my wonderful belly band is going to slide right over it. Now, here's the key. See that car? It doesn't have that light color red that I put into the inside layers. The trunk layers, whatever you call that, stripes. It is dark. Yeah, it's more to a burgundy. So I had to get out my Distress inks, whatever inks you have, and I had to match up it to a dark red instead of a light red. I had to go more to the burgundy side. That's what I'm trying to say. And I really like the 4 and the 5 together. It was hard for me, but I'm going to tell you, do you have that undo it? You know, it looks like water and it has this top on it. It's kind of like a concaved shovel at the top, and then you just screw off the white cap, then you slide it underneath and squeeze a little bit of that undo liquid, and it takes the glue right off. That 5 just slid right off. You don't see residue. You don't see anything. All you see is the space you're going to need to put whatever it is you messed up and you have to redo it. Yeah. For me, it's the 4. So it's called Undo. I'll try to leave it in the description. I'm so behind in putting up my blog posts and things of that nature. I apologize. I got to get on that. Trying to get caught up on my comments, and that's my first priority. If you take the time to watch and comment, I'm going to make sure that I answer your comments. So I was a tad bit behind, but I'm trying to catch up here. So here we go, Chad, C-H-A-D. And, oh yeah, I had to go back and do all the darkening spots on the alphabet, you know, on the C-H-A-D. So here we go. We're going to have to slide this over. I actually, when I brought Chad the card, I gave him all the instructions on what he had to do. You have to pull it up real slow. And then I wanted to put happy birthday underneath the car. So it said happy birthday, Chad. And then I want to put is 44. Although it says 45. Then I thought, well, I could do some things on the back. But you know what? I didn't. Because I'm putting this exact frame that the belly band is made out of onto the back. And I thought it was just a nice addition to add whatever you're putting on the front to the inside of the back, or, you know, however you design your cards. And I also like doing this for you on my channel, even though it takes a lot of time up in me yakking, is that you can get 4 different card ideas if you do just the front of your cards, you know. So that kind of where my avenue of thinking is on my channel. I really love this clock, and it's 2-dimensional. It sits 2 high, which is wonderful. And that's why, you know, I'm not much of a, well, I don't take to stickers and all that stuff, you know, very well, unless they're stickers that are really classy. You know, they don't look like stickers, or they don't look like these die cuts here. You could have stamped that and colored it in yourself, die cut it, and you wouldn't know the difference. That's how classy Anna Griffin supplies are and her kits are. They really do, you know, top of the morning to you. They really look like you created it yourself, and that's what I like. So now I'm just situating that the happy birthday tickets here are going to be underneath the car when the belly band goes down. And isn't that lovely? It really is, you know. It has a masculine feel. Well, it's all masculine, but you're having fun doing it. That's the key, you know. All the stamps that I had that were masculine, I've already used them for masculine cards mostly. You know, this was something new. It was challenging. And I love a challenge. And yeah, and I got to use my number dies, and I got to use my alphabet dies, and I got to use this kit. I took that out. I didn't like that. But I did love this paper. This kind of secretarial, library style ticket paper. See it right there? And I thought the lines would go great, you know, vertically. No, horizontally. Excuse me. I don't know. I think I did one horizontally and one vertical. I can't remember because now he has the card. I can't look at it. Well, I guess I could go to my pictures. Yeah. But anywho, I put Chad is 45 because you can't see the happy birthday when the belly band goes on. So it just says Chad is, and it does say 44 because I did change it. I redid it. I re-stamped it. I redid everything you needed to do to get that 4 on there to match. So that was nice. And here is the is. I-S. And I really liked the preparation of this card, and I hope you do too. I want to thank you in this turbulent time that we're going through, that you take the time to relax and join me on my tutorials, and you also take the time to comment. And for those that are joining my No Buy challenge for 3 months, we're halfway, well, just about halfway through January, so it's not that bad not having to buy. But don't you notice that when you say, okay, I'm not going to buy something for this sort of, for this amount of time, everything goes on sale for next to nothing, It would be $5, but it's 5 cents. It seems like that. And then, I like to stick to my word. And if I say I'm going to go on a 3-month no buy, that's what I'm going to do. So it wouldn't matter if it said a penny. If I have to spend money on it, well, that would defeat the purpose, right? I want to go into my stash. And right after this, although I do have a couple of tutorials up, I could edit on using the Go Power and Impress on foiling. I'm not finished with that because I wanted to come up with some more ideas. So I'm going to make some heart love cards, a little bit of a wee series. I had a few ideas in my head, so I want to take them from my head and put them onto some cards. So I'm going to do that this afternoon after my voiceover is finished, and it uploads because I need my camcorder to film it, so I have to wait until that process is done. So here we go, and this top hat is 2-dimensional. It's 2 layers high, so that's lovely. And I was able to use the balloons on the back. Isn't that die, that pop-out die, wonderful? One pass through, and then your ghosting die, for the background. I just love it. And then I decided to get out more stash, and I got out some of my, whatever you call these with the hole in the middle. Well, I actually had to walk to my stash. They're called sequins. Yeah. I'm telling you, sometimes it just flees from the old brain cavity and never to be heard from again. So I got out some, charcoal, these dark to light gray and white sequins. Yes, 3 of them I'm going to put down there, because this is why I'm not buying anything for January, February, March, because I want to get into my stash and unload. Even if it's just 3 of these sequins, I'm using some of them, right? So that's nice. So here's the card. Here's my belly band that goes over top, slides down. Make sure you look at the front, you look at the back, so you're not ripping into that nice gold Anna Griffin paper. Super thick paper, boy. It is a beautiful paper to work with, this gold paper. And I'm trying to remove a little bit. It isn't my mat. This is my cutting mat. I've gone through at least 3 of these cutting mats since, or maybe more, since I started crafting 6 or 7 years ago now, and filming and things. Oh, I'm going back into my kit because I was looking for something or other. I don't know. Oh, I needed this arrow. Okay, I wanted to get a few things out for my envelope. I am finished with the card, and now comes the envelope. Now, this was a 5x7 card base from the Anna Griffin collection, but when you add the belly band over top, I added another 2 inches. Well, it's 7x7, so it was 1 inch on each side, so the envelope had to be 7x7. And this is the funny thing. Okay, you know the envelope maker by We Are Memory Keepers. There's 2 of them. There could be 10 of them by now. I have 2 of them. And the one that I end up using, not this one. I'm very familiar with this envelope maker. But this one doesn't go 7x7, this envelope maker. And I could have you know, just adjusted the measurements. Of course I could have, but, you know, I felt my brain was on overload coming up to this point. I didn't want to try and figure it out. And no matter how many times I put that ruler on there, it's not going to measure any less than 7 by 7. So I thought, okay, let's go get the other one. I have this other one that makes boxes, bows, and envelopes. But I very seldom have used this 1, 2, 3 punch board. And I didn't get why it had like pink lines, turquoise or lines, because I haven't used it. And I know it's probably as simple as can be. So I thought, okay, give it a try. It said 7 by 7. So I had to get my paper and I went to my stash, and lo and behold, I had this bark paper. It was shiny silver and gold. Loved the inside. I liked that too, but there was too much greens. There was too much pattern. It was, you know, the card is a lot going on. So I decided to go with this one. What I really liked on this also is the fact that the back of it is craft. So I thought that I would use the more busy side, which is what we're looking at right here, for the inside of the envelope. And then I'd use the craft as the outside. Right there, my craft envelope. So I made it and realized I don't know what I did wrong on this. I really don't. But, well, I do. What am I saying I don't? I didn't know how to use the 1, 2, 3 punch board properly. And I used the wrong line for scoring. So I just went back and I thought, there is no way I'm getting rid of this. Okay, I don't care that there's a line down each side. I had to make it a little different. So I just did this, you know, fancy moves here, just trying to clean it up and, you know, make it look like I put those 2 lines on each side. Well, 1 line in each side purposely. And that's where I'm going with it, because that's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, my friends. I am not going to set. And how many times do you get to use wood grain? There's the word, wood grain. Yes, but this wasn't the way to use it. I had to figure out what looked best as you did the fold, you know, so it looked like it was meeting in the right spots. There we go. I think that's it. No, is that crooked? Yeah, I kept doing that until all of a sudden it went into place, and I just went with it. See how I had to bring the edges out, the score mark out a little bit? And this is what you do. You just keep playing around. Oh yeah, and then it looks like a good envelope. And I figure, I don't think my son is going to micro look at this and say to himself, oh, I wonder if this is all done perfectly. Never. No, I never have to worry about that. So I just thought, okay, I want to use that arrow pointing down because I'm not putting tape or glue on the flap. I am going to only glue the outside edges of my tag there, my sentiment, my happy birthday flag on the bottom, and then I'm going to leave the center with no glue on it, and the flap is going to go inside, right tucked into my sentiment, because it's a 3-tier dimensional flag with happy birthday on it. So now I'm thinking, how can I cover up those 2 lines? I'm not going to cover them up. That's crazy. You know, sometimes we score intentional lines on there, and I'm not going to do it. So I took it off. I just thought, that looks crazy. I mean, that looks crazy. Balloons coming out of a trophy with an arrow pointing at it with a Chad there. No, it's not going to happen. So, but you know, you have to go through this process and see how, you know, it doesn't look good. So, well, I put an arrow there. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I already glued it. So I guess that's staying on the bottom. And I'm just going to stare at it for a little bit longer. Maybe put Chad across there. I don't think I did though. And I really like those balloons. Oh, there's the mitt, the ball mitt, the old ball mitt. So I thought, okay, here we go. Stencils. I haven't used stencils in forever. And I really like the old-fashioned, see, flipped it right in there. So I have to take out my card if I'm going to use the stencil. I'm going to have a little sip of my Coca-Cola. and I'm going to move forward. I got out the Encore Gold ink, and I need to start inking more. Yes, there it is, Snow and Gold. I went and put some of the clocks in gold, but it was really, I don't know why, it was hard. Well, it was a little difficult to see, once I started seating the background on it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do the gold. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to go all the way across and have my, see what I mean? It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't pop off. But you know what? If you're putting a lot of things down, you really don't want it to pop up that much. So I thought, okay, let's move forward and get out a darker color. Icing on the cake. I did this Catherine Pooler ink. It's nice and juicy. I have Catherine's collection, and it's forever growing. So I thought, you know what? I don't use inks. I have so many ink collections. It's unbelievable. It's just crazy. So I have to start using them up. No, I'm not going to use an ink up, all of those inks, but I am going to start inking more. How's that? So here we go. I'm just going to add a little bit, moving the stencil so it has the gold ghosting in the background. There you go. I'm super happy with it. And even though I, went over on the stencil a little bit, it doesn't matter because I had a plan. I had an immediate plan. Now I got gold on this, so I had to just, no. I learned not to take don't ever take a paper towel to wipe off anything on your inks. That's a no-go. All the little bally things off your paper towel will come off. So I just, went over it with a clean brush, one of those brushes that I use there. So here's how I covered up that line going down the center. I thought, okay, I had a lot of letters, so I thought, all right, let's do Chad going down. Down. Here we go. Let's get down, Chad. We're going to put the letters down. And then to use up most of the letters, I thought, I'm not going to have these letters in my stash waiting a whole nother year for a birthday. So let's just keep going. So I did Chad going in the opposite direction, C-H, well, I'm going to use the A and do the D. And these were leftover cutouts from the wood grain that I made with the Distress inks. And then I'm going to go Chad over there. Chad, Chad, Chad. Yeah. He's going to know that his mother didn't forget who he was. He's Chad. Chad, Chad, Chad. Yes. And then I thought, well, should I cover this C? I'm not sure if I did because I did this card for the 9th and we're already at the 14th. But I did have to get out my ruler to make sure that the letters were straight. And yeah, so I liked this thing and then this thing. Yeah. And the old baseball mitt, I mean, come on. That's nice too. And then another happy birthday tag, but I wanted it to look more like the tag I used before. So I got out a little punch, I call it my inverted tag thingy. And I cut out the corners and looky there. It just looked different. And I needed to cover that spot that the stenciling didn't, go on the top portion. So we just cover it. I mean, that's what it's all about. I get to use my balloons. I put them there, the gold balloons. And look at there. I'm happy with that. Chad, Chad, Chad. And that tucks in. That is a nice, if you don't want to use tape and you don't want to close it shut, I mean, what better way to do it? I put my arrow going down so that you know that the point of the envelope, the flap, is inside the tag. My nice happy birthday banner taggy thing. And now I'm just getting all the glue that I had on there for some reason, wiping it off with a baby wipe. And that's kind of cool, and it fits right down into that sentiment. And remember, that's 3 high. It's 3-dimensional. That's what's the beauty of it. Looks like I did it myself. And now I'm trying to think, okay, what am I going to do? I didn't want to do too much on the back flip, flap, flip. And see how that goes all the way down. Just get her in there. Yes, there's enough of that corner edging to go behind my happy birthday flag that it fit super well. So let's get rid of that trophy, and we will put in this lovely two-dimensional compass. So I put that underneath the flagged happy birthday, and I was really happy with this. It just seemed to fit on there nicely. It's not overdone, I don't think. Get the camera out of there, Carol, and go with that. So here is the ending to the Chad happy birthday. I have the happy birthday, just a note to wish you that you have a very happy birthday. And look at that. Love this pop out die. There's the back. There's the front. And I took the 5 off with my undo. It came off nicely. And I put the 4 on there before I brought it over. Here is the wonderful belly band. That's what you call it. You have to be slow and careful. I did this in regular time so you could see. You just have to have a little bit of patience there. And I love the way the finger is pointing down to 45. Isn't that nice? And then, you know, the gold being on the back isn't that bad. You know, it matches up pretty good. I had a blast creating this, and for a masculine card, I was very happy with the outcome, and I hope you were able to glean some inspiration from it as well. And there you have it. I'm going to upload this, and thank you for your subscriptions. If you subscribe, thank you for hitting the like and leaving me comments. Most of all, I love the opportunity to get to know who's viewing my videos. Have yourself a blessed week, and I will see you soon on the next tutorial. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Bye now.